Today, I want to discuss with you guys how to rewire your mindset when approaching women, or more so, what to look for. And I got so much that I could cover, but I'm really going to try to condense this today. So, we often find the purpose of this channel, and really anybody who's trying to level up to become 1% better every day, is that concept of the high value man. What does he provide? What can he give? Who is he? When you are already high value, you walk differently. You talk differently. You're enunciating your words. And the biggest key here is when we're trying to be more assertive or dominant, to slow our speech down. And I've done this in a previous video. But a concept of this is our mindset, right? So going back to approaching women when we are high value. If I am, let's say, in a scenario of maybe I'm at a concert or I'm at a club, right? Part of the issue that I feel like a lot of us men are having is you guys are continuing to find these women that I can tell you from personal experience are not wife material. If you want a woman that's always smoking weed, always drinking, always partying, just know that you are really settling for lower than you could have. And it goes the same with men that are doing this with high-value women looking for an actual man of status. Now, a high-value man also can control his sexual impulses. He can control his alcohol intake. He is self-aware enough to know that if something is trying to control him, he has the ability to put it down. He has the ability to not do it or end up taking it in any way, because he knows either the repercussions that could happen, or he doesn't even want to put himself in that type of a scenario that it could cause him to later fall. So thinking back when I was about in high school and even my early years of college, I placed such a heavy emphasis, especially college, I placed such a heavy emphasis on being with a woman, right? I just needed to be near a woman. I just needed to hear a woman. I just needed to know that a woman liked me, or a woman that loved me, or a woman gave me some form of validation. Ultimately, now we're realizing that it's because I was trying to fill this deep hole inside myself that, realistically speaking, can only be healed when we allow ourselves to be healed and work towards those steps of healing ourselves. But these women at the time, there was nothing super special about them, right? It wasn't like they had big plans. They weren't going to be a doctor. They weren't going to be a lawyer. The majority of the women that I had experienced even going on dates with or just spending time with, they didn't really have a goal. They didn't have a mission. In high school, like that's acceptable. Even out of high school, my senior year, I had an idea. I had a vision of what I wanted to do. But when we get to college, you really got to start contemplating things. Just to go to college just to fulfill credits and not know what you're doing is understandable to a certain point. But when we're talking to people who have been going to college intermittently, or they're just kind of like half-assing it, you really got to question yourself, is this a woman that I am looking at being with? Now, some of the men on here might disagree with me, and that's perfectly fine. Some of you enjoy a woman that might not have any education. Some of you might enjoy a woman that just works a job and graduated from high school. Everybody is different. Me personally, I want a woman who is actively working towards some goal, towards some mission. Men who are high value are seeking women out that are in a submissive role. Again, the concept of submissiveness gets taken out of context. How I see submissiveness is having a reciprocity to her boyfriend or to her husband. I also believe that when you're married, the woman has to be submissive. When a woman is in a relationship with a man, she is not required to be submissive to the extent that you guys are in marital relations. But you want her to be feminine, right? You don't want her to be masculine. You don't want to date a man. You're not here to date a man. If I wanted to date a man, I would just be gay. We are out here looking for women that are feminine, that share the reciprocity, that want to give and receive, that you can be playful with, that you can spend time with and actually enjoy it, and not be hurt and not be abused and not be treated poorly. And I just remember frequently, that in a relationship, and even when you guys are just seeing each other, or it's like dating but there's no label, that the woman will say, because of how much of a baby I was with women, I did not act masculine. A lot of the women would say to me that they're going to find themselves. And unfortunately, that is key word, boys, for I'm going to kind of do what I want to do. You were a wuss. You weren't manly enough. You weren't masculine enough for me. And I'm going to find somebody else to do it. The issue with this is I find that a lot of women that say this are not actually healing. They're moving on to the next guy without doing the healing. And I can state this as a fact. The women that I work with, the women that ask me questions, these are not women that I'm just communicating with to communicate with, because non-sexual attention is the other very important thing that I do not give to others. And so you take that and you give them a solution, right? You give them an idea, you give them a concept. You say, if you're having this issue, this is what I would recommend. And they go, well, I'm not ready for that. I don't feel like doing that right now. Then it's like that quote, insanity is the expectation of getting a different result by doing the same thing repeatedly. So they hope that somehow along the way, that as they're finding themselves, they are going to heal this process. And they never fully heal. They jump into another relationship and then they bring more baggage into it. Because you have one side, and I can talk about this more in context, but you have one side of this space that is trying to advocate for men and women. You have women that are extreme feminists that want to give men a vasectomy, that are all about these rights. And then you have the other side that are saying women are the devil, let's manipulate women. You got the women on this same side cheating, women that listen to these others, these role models, right? She's a bad bee, she's going to do what she wants. You can do all of that. And then you have this side here that's saying, oh, we got to clap some cheeks. We got to show these women what men are. There is no in-between. There's no in-between. There's no, hey, men, women, why don't we actually have a sit down? Let's have a discussion. And it's crazy to me because people genuinely think that there's no way that men and women will ever be able to communicate what they want, desire, and need in a relationship. Yet I have seen a few healthy, fulfilling relationships, and just like anything else, they're going to have problems, but the people got to put the work in. Rome was not built in a day. But it is so oppressive, the fact that you have one side that is literally just doing the same thing that this side is doing, except they're saying it in the name of men. Men, women, I don't care what you are. There should not be this much dissension between two sexes. So going back to it, I'm looking at these women, and I look at them now, right? Some of them actually made something of themselves. That's great. But then I'm looking at women that just they dissented, right? They were at the peak and now they're down here and you're like, what happened? And it really is, they just stopped caring. They started making these horrible decisions for themselves. It saddens me so much to see, especially like on TikTok and these social media sites, that our generation, Generation Z, is so responsible for infidelity rates and just this hookup culture that has permeated. It is literally rotting our brains from the inside, that we no longer care about connection. We just care about the next body. And you guys are taking this into the next generation, which is only going to bring even more detrimental results. So when you're high value, or when you're getting there, and that's the other thing, is as a high value man, as you're working yourself towards this, there's the difference between a fixed mindset and a growth mindset. The fixed mindset says, I have reached the level of success that I need. I'm comfortable with being here. The growth mindset says, I'm going to focus on getting 1% better each day of my life till I die. Till you throw dirt on me is when I will continue to succeed. Until I give my last breath, I will continue to improve, continue to grow, continue to become a better person than I was yesterday. This is what we need more of. So getting back to this generation, a lot of you guys are letting women that just want attention. You are letting women that are hooked on drugs and alcohol. You are letting women that have addictions, secret lives that you don't even know about, and they got you in a corner. They got you depressed. They got you saying you want to commit suicide. They got you saying, oh, there'll never be another girl like her in my life. Who invented this scarcity mindset? I need you all to wake the hell up. The issue isn't the women. The issue is the women that you are choosing to do business with. And you will understand when a woman comes into your life that you consider to be great, right? She's beautiful, she's feminine, she's amazing, she's all these things. She fits all these boxes, she fits all these qualities that you are working towards. You look at these women that you used to lose, right? You look at these women that cheated on you. You look at these women that made you never want to date again. You look at these women that had you crying at 3 a.m. in a corner. And now look at her. She's hooked on psychotic meds. She's hooked on addictions. She's hooked on the next hookup. She's not improving on herself. Meanwhile, you're in the gym. You're working a 9 to 5, and then you get home and you work some more. You're eating right. You're eating clean. You're treating your body like a temple. You're spiritually inclined. You guys have let these women that they're low value, honestly. And it had to take me through the lens of now looking at it like this. You guys want a party woman, you are going to get the results of a party woman. I've dated party women, expect to be cheated on. Party women are ruled by their emotions and how you make them feel, right, in the moment. Now, we talked before, women feel that way generally, but you include the partying aspect of it. When the partying becomes her personality and that's all she does, she's not for me, bro. The other thing that you have to keep in mind, this isn't like a death sentence if you don't do this. But as a man, we're going to fall sometimes. We're going to make bad decisions. The choice then becomes yours. Do I want to get back up? Do I want to continue complaining about the things in my life that don't make sense to me? Do I want to continue complaining about the things in my life that are hurting me and that I just want to ruminate in a dark corner on? Or do I actually want to get up and do something about it? Fixed versus growth mindset. Now, if and when you cold approach women and you walk up to them, you now have standards, right? You have values that you're going off of. Think about how much time is wasted dwelling on women to fulfill a need that only you and God can fulfill. Think about the time that you could have spent working on yourself to finding that queen to your kingdom, to finding that woman that will help you build your empire and want to rule it with you. And you guys are settling for these women that just destroy you and they turn you upside down and there's no hope and women are evil and... No. The women that you are choosing to deal with are all based on your choice. I save so much time now. I see a woman, I see what she's about. If she's not similar to my values, okay, she's for somebody else next. You guys spend too much time preoccupying on this. And the most beautiful thing that somebody said to me recently was that I was spreading myself too thin because me personally, I have to do all sorts of things. And I'm realizing now that I have a hyperfixation on working because I don't want to deal with certain aspects of myself. And I don't have to come on here and share this with you guys, but I know there's plenty of you guys watching this. You work from the butt crack of sunrise all the way to dawn. You work nonstop. But what are you hiding from? What don't you want to work on? Because if we're going to become high value, if we're going to do this together, if we are going to form a community, I need your support. I need you to put the effort in. I need you to look forward at that finish line and never look back. Because where we are going, what we are leading up to, that's destiny. You want to find a high-value woman? You want to stop being hurt by these women that are broken, that aren't doing the work in themselves? You have to become the person that you want to attract. Find somebody that wants to build a kingdom with you. But in the meanwhile, continue working towards your goals. Continue working towards your passions. And don't look back. Don't let anybody tell you what you can and can't do. Your brain is limitless. Hit the notification bar. I release videos weekly. You don't want to miss them. Leave a comment below. I love to hear from you guys. Tune in next time. Stay frosty.